All right. Looks like everything's live. So this has been a few weeks since I've done this. And I think we're going to notice that my voice is not really my voice is shot. So let me see. Now that I've sort of, oh, for God's sakes, I forgot so many goddamn. All right, let's turn this off because I do need one audio source for myself so I can hear this poor person, and I can't figure out how to change that goddamn fructose background. So I actually, when I initially started this, one of my main interest was actually getting people, because we all go online, we all go to these sites and media sources and talk and comment, and then get into these long drawn out debates of back and forths and discussions, and I always feel like there's pieces missing in that. It's been proven, when especially I think it was Facebook, they did studies and proved that we are fixated, oh, there he is, to de-ice. Oh shit, that's funny. Can you hear me, bud? Uh-oh. Oh, I can hear you. There you go. Now I can hear you. I just want to see if I can hear you through. I have to keep one ear in the other side too, so that way I can make sure that this hold on. Once I get that. Oh, shit. God damn it. The audio is not coming through for some reason. Oh, Christ. Let me see if I can add let me see, media source. Yeah, this is what happens when I do Zooms and things like that sometimes the audio does not come through right away. So what's that? No, it's like it just doesn't take it. Match capture method. Zoom, Brave. Let me see if I switch that. Can you say something? Oh, this is... and this happened to me once a while ago. I was doing it with my buddy, and I ended up talking to myself for an hour and a half, it looked like, online. Oh. Let me see, audio input capture. Output capture. You know what? Maybe. Come on. All right, now it might do it. Let me see. It should capture all desktop audio at this point. All right, now I just got to wait to see if it comes through. It's horrible watching myself waiting. Oh, actually, it did work. It's just very low. So let's turn you max, and that should work. So, I actually really appreciate this. This is actually a lot of fun, and I tried to do this a while ago with somebody. If Sorry, I'm hearing myself now. With somebody on a Reddit forum, because I'm really big into like housing, and that's one of the things that actually got me interested in wanting to talk to you, because there was something that we talked about back and forth about basic, and I'm trying to be as discreet as possible. So if I start to say something, because I know you like, and trust me, I respect everybody's privacy and so forth. So it's like I know, like, I don't even want to say where the conversation was and things like that. Um, so if I start to get into an area where you think I'm going to say something that might seem like it's like too devolving or too divulging, then you just give me a yell or something like that. So wait, I just want to hear something really quick. What the heck? Okay, now it just lost you again. I'm going to try and turn it up as much as possible. See, this is why Zoom. Is it? Sorry, bud. I don't mean to put you through this. Device. Oh, hold on a second. That might be it. All right, just give me one more test if you don't mind. God damn it. The delay is what makes it tough for me, because now here it goes. Let me see. Nope, still not coming through. Oh, well, this sucks. So I don't know how this is going to work if it's not capturing the audio. I wonder if it's because of that. Let me see. Audio input capture. Let's try. See, it's almost like it hiccuped. Your default microphone is. Oh, never mind. So it's almost like it hiccuped. I heard you for a split second, and then it just clipped out. Um, so I'm using OBS. Oh, good God! Now I've got a fucking echo with me. Let me turn this off. Let's see. Well, I'm going to end up having to probably clip a lot of this out. And it's not like anybody's listening now anyway, so. Well, I don't understand why it's not pulling the audio. Whoops. Capture cursor. No, wait. So I've got no idea, unless it's a browser issue, why this is not catching you. Because I've got it set up to take any desktop audio. Application audio capture. Oh, hold on a second. Wait, 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 wait. Okay. Maybe that ought to do it.
All right, I'll give you a shout. Testing, testing,
And that is
testing. One, two,
maxed. So I'm going
three.
to lower this. All right. So I'm going to say one more time. And if not, if this doesn't work, I might just have to scratch it. But I think I got it set now.
All
So just
right.
give me one more test.
All right. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing.
Oh, you know what? I
That
think I
was it?
actually heard you perfectly fine out of that one.
Sweet. Got it, man.
So let me see.
Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing.
Oh, that worked. Oh my God. Thank you. I apologize for that, dude. I seriously do.
Good, man. All
So you're
good,
good.
man. Sweet.
I guess they I don't know. I haven't been on in probably a month or two. I don't do this like religiously.
Uh-huh.
So if the software changes or if my settings get screwed up, sometimes I don't exactly know how to get them back. So I really apologize.
It's all good, man. Don't sweat it.
So all right. So are we ready?
Yeah, man.
You still with me?
Still with you, brother. Go for it.
Now I can't hear you at all.
Yo, I'm testing again. Can you hear me? Let me, I wonder. Can you hear me?
Oh, you know what? I think it's just a tiny bit of a delay between us.
I wonder if it's my
All right, I'm gonna have to. All right, bear with me.
Can you hear
I'm
me?
gonna
Can you
have
hear
to
me?
basically talk because it's only coming out of my backup device now. I can't hear you out of the. So there is a slight delay. So, but basically, one of the things we were talking about that kind of actually did pique my interest a lot was your idea on giving everybody like a free house, free housing, things like that. I mean, we talked about a lot of different things, but that was one of the things that actually
Mhm.
caught my interest a lot. So I was just
Uh-huh.
curious. I mean, do you think that's something that could actually work? Like, just basically everybody kind of gets a free, like a, like you get a house that's paid for and that's it.
Yeah, I actually do think it could work. I mean, we waste so much money on so much nonsense and garbage that benefits no Americans whatsoever. And like, I mean, if everyone has a house or I mean, even a tiny house, you know what I mean? Like houses that cost literally like $5,000 to erect, and then they just put their own little fixings or whatever in there. It can work. There's tons of acres of land. There's tons of places to build, and if everyone just had a house, not like housing projects, that releases so much burden on Americans, man. Like one of the biggest expenses that we face is housing costs. You know, like especially now with inflation, Nick. Like you got an interest rate that's like 8%. People paying like $6,000 for mortgage a month. Like I don't know who they think we are, Tony Montana, moving cocaine or something, but it just ain't working, man. Seriously, I mean, and I know it's a deal. People worry about cost or whatever. Like, oh, it's going to cost a bunch. It's going to cost so much. But I mean, we've wasted so much money on other crap that it just makes more sense. You know what I mean?
So when you were saying too, like when you
When you were about to ask a question, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, I get your point of view on it. But so when you say this, are you referring to like let's say standalone like me, like a suburbs, like a house? Because you were using like the idea of housing projects. So I mean, if we took out the idea of projects and
Mm-hmm.
they were still just let's say like co-op buildings or something along those lines, is that something you
Hmm.
like think could function instead of like
Now,
going through and continuously, you know what?
mhm.
I think the audio is still a little screwed up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. Loud and clear. I hear you. Definitely hear you.
What?
I think I can chat with you too, just in case. No chatting? What was it? Chat? Oh, there it is. There, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's still a slight delay in here somehow. I don't
Hmm.
know why that's happening.
Hmm.
So it's almost like there's a mate. I may have to go. I got to figure this thing out. Figure this why this is doing this. Because I'm using the second. If you can hear me, I'm using the secondary audio source. But it's
Hmm.
on a slight delay, so it's almost like I'm watching it and listening at the same time. It's not like we're in real time right now, so that's what's making it
Okay,
really
I got
difficult.
you.
So I really,
Okay. So,
oh, good, awesome. Yeah, I should have probably actually tested it first with you. Yeah, and I guess this setting they have here is in beta. It says so. I'm really trying to find where the setting used to be to catch. I'm just trying to see if there's nope. That's not going to do it. See, I used to be able to just point to the browser window, and it would catch
Mhm.
that audio. But as I'm doing
Okay.
it through here, I'm going to disconnect your audio from this for 1 second
All right,
so I
cool.
can actually hear you in like real time again. Okay. Now let me see if you can still now. You can hear me, correct? Oh, now I think I lost you completely. What? Oh, wait a minute. Jesus Christ.
It's like you found the problem.
That's the problem. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you.
Why are you coming through the goddamn speakers on the? God, I'm fucking having a hell of a time. Bear with me. I've been a little under the weather.
All good, man.
I almost wonder if this would just work better at this point.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? I think that is working.
It's working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little echoey, but now I just got you coming through the speakers on the laptop, and you're right below my mic.
There you go.
All that
There it is,
fucking
man.
time. Well, whatever. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go
Long as it
back.
works.
So, all right, I'm gonna lower this volume because that's slightly distracting. So anyway, so I do agree with you on that point. We do waste a lot of money on things that probably don't pertain to us as Americans. If we were to say like, yeah, everybody's gonna get a house, um, or every because I think there's actually oh god, one of those goddamn Nordic countries that does all that stuff. I think they do
Mhm.
that. They gave it like it's one of those like housing is a right kind of thing. See, I I kind of so like going back to the question, it would take me to explain a story on something which I could do afterwards, but um I if it wasn't a house, see like I don't at what differentiates between like let's say the projects because I was talking with somebody else on there too. Like I kind of grew up. You're I think you're in the same time zone as me. So if I told you where I grew
Mhm.
up, you'd probably even know. Um,
Mhm.
but in the grand scheme of things, like what actually designates something as a project
Okay.
versus like we'll just say an apartment complex or an apartment community, something along those lines.
Right, right, right. So, you got to go back to the FDR days.
Yeah.
So, what FDR did, his housing project was an experiment where it was okay, let's put all these poor and downtrodden and people who are like of a certain ethnic background, which is pretty racist. Let's put them all in one area and let's see what happens. And basically, what happened was you get an area full of crime and people stealing, and then it raises up the drug use, mental health problems, things of that nature.
Hmm.
And then you just created a whole bunch of different problems when you're quote unquote trying to help. So to answer your question, between like a co-op building or an apartment complex, um, one of the things they do in one of the big city areas is like they have housing lotteries where
Yeah.
they'll have apartment complexes in nice areas, and then they'll bring in a few people who are like, I guess you can say economically challenged. I guess that's
Hmm.
the proper term.
Yeah.
And then they bring them into that complex in those nice areas. So you kind of spread out the poor and downtrodden, the people who are having hard times. So you don't just get a huge area of just poor people struggling and killing and robbing and doing drugs, and the school's all crappy. You kind of spread it out, and so that's what separates a nice apartment complex or some nice co-ops. Co-ops are nice. I got no problem with co-ops, but when you put all those people together, that's what you're gonna get.
Just
And
gonna
it,
get
it kind
trouble.
of dials back to that convo we had previously, where we were saying that when you put poor people together, or poor people are more inclined to commit crime. That's because if you're making, other than like your Bernie Madoffs and your Sam Bankman Fried type creeps,
Hmm.
the majority of people well off going outside, busting windows, and holding up, cash in places with a gun. They're working hard. They're well off. Not
Yeah.
well off, but because of inflation. But they're all right. They're at the point where they can lift, decently and not have to resort to those nefarious deeds, so to speak.
So if let's excuse me, I'm sorry. I also just got an alert that the free one, because I pissed away so much time trying to get this to work, it'll end in like 10 minutes. So if it does, what I'll do is I'll just recreate it and then send you the invite again. So like I actually, that kind of goes into something that I was saying. Well, that actually has two different ways of looking at it. And everything again that I'm going to say personally, or everything I'm going to say is a lot of the things we all say end up being anecdotal. They end up become, from personal experience or things like that. So like when you have the ideas of the lottery or taking people and putting them in more well-off areas. So when I was younger, I actually, I grew up in a very inner city. We were actually really, really, really poor. And there was a time in my life where I ended up having to go live with a different family member. Now they lived in a very affluent area. And it was almost like I would say it's like almost the white version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like I went there, and dude, like I felt so out of place. Like I felt like, even though I had gotten pulled out of this area and put into that area, it didn't also raise the circumstances around everything else. So like my clothes were still, obviously much lesser quality than theirs. I was the only kid in the school who had a lunch card. Like, you know what I mean? So I think things like that too. It's like we can say like, we don't want to put everybody of the same financial demographic, I'll use that word, together. But then at the same time, when you also spread it out and you push them into areas where they're going to sit there and look at anybody who's just more affluent than them, I think that also causes some kind of problems. I mean, that's just my personal view. I'm not trying to contradict what you're saying.
No, speak on it, man. Speak on it.
So I think see, like I'm a very big, and you're probably going to hate this, but like I'm a very big NIMBY person. You know that phrase, not in my backyard? Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware.
I'm bad, and the thing is it's because of where all the stuff I went through growing up and everything like that. And then, I moved, into that area, the more affluent area. I just was not affluent, so I did not fit in. I ended up actually moving back to the original city. And yeah, well, a whole nother story. But I ended up moving back to the original city. And I was going through my high school years there. And I ended up kind of, I'm in my 40s now. So, met somebody else, we did very well for ourselves. We work really hard. I don't have kids. So I think that's a big, a big reason why we're, able to be where we are and stuff like that. So in my mind, it's like, me and a lot of my friends from the time too, it's, we worked hard. We did what we had to do. You either went to school or you did a trade or you did this, and we moved out. And it's almost like you move out and you move away, and then you have this, fear of that. So like one of the things that actually I'm part of like a property owners group and stuff like that. And I legitimately do work with the policies. We look over the laws and things like that. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with like the fair share housing bills that go around. It's big in Jersey.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So so they wanted to start doing that where I am. And I'm like, no, I'm not really for that. To be honest, I grew up in this area and, I worked my butt off to move out of actually, we moved twice technically, now that I think about it, because me and her bought a house in an area that that eventually started to kind of go downhill. And we were like, you know what? We're out. So we moved again and moved into we finally were able to, we bought really dirt cheap. We bought I'm just telling you my little bit of a story so you understand.
Mm-hmm.
We both spent nights, weekends, holidays, everything. It was a ramshackle ranch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I hear you,
like,
man.
like it was busted, and we bought it right as the everything started hitting that very bottom after like the 2008 era. So,
GFA, okay.
yep.
GFC rather. Gotcha.
And we just busted our butts, fixed it up, did what we had to do, and we lucked out. There's a lot of luck that comes into things too. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of knowing, but then there's a lot of luck. You know, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
watch and keep your fingers crossed. But then we ended up,
Right.
selling that house, and we're actually able, because of what we made, because of what we originally paid for the house, making that
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice to do a lateral move into this town. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm open with even talking to the politicians. Like, look, I'm NIMBY. I didn't end up working my butt off so I can to get out of a certain area, so that way the same type of people can come into my. And I'm talking again financial demographics,
Mm-hmm.
and state of
Mm-hmm.
mind can follow me up there, and then now once again bring the same attitude that ruined the last town that we were living in. Which, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like it wasn't like a highfalutin braggadocious town. But it's like, and in the same part, like I actually live in a very, we'll say, like rural area now, which I really do like. So, like I was stating, where I grew up, I could bring you to like 30 buildings. Like I don't understand why
Mm-hmm.
you're pushing to come into these areas when I could bring you to 30 buildings that have been sitting there since I was a kid that could be
Mm-hmm.
renovated, rebuilt, reinvigorate the city, probably create jobs, all this other stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
a very big mindset of like projects aren't created, they're not technically built, but more created by the people within them. And I don't think, oh, gee, sorry, I just whacked the mic. Hopefully you didn't get that. I personally think that even if you're, like, we'll say low income, I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
predominantly, means you're more predisposed to commit crime. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop right after this because I'm probably losing you completely. But I think a lot of that happens because of the society we live in now, where you can literally just open up, your phone. Oh, God damn it. And of course, I lost him. So now I got to go back and re-invite him. So if he's still listening while I send you the new link. So basically, I think part of the problem that happens, it's joined by computer audio. Participants. Are you really going to do this to me now? There we go. Invite. Happy invitation. So, I don't know if he's listening. If I have to re-say it, it's fine. I think part of the problem that causes a lot of crime is a jealousy and FOMO lifestyle that we've been conditioned to have by continuously going online to like social media or whatever and looking at these people with they're either celebrities who are, millionaires and really living that life, or it's people with the pretend life that they're showing. Here we are. Hey, buddy, you there? Oh,
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
okay.
Can you hear me?
I don't know if you could hear what I was saying before, but just to paraphrase, I think a big problem, especially in like we'll say a lower income area and crime and stuff like that. And I actually will say I sort of saw the acceleration of this too. Is I think especially in like lower income areas is even if you're a low income individual, you still have, which I don't have mine. I don't even know where it is. I was going to pull my phone out and make like a big, haha, but I don't have it in my pocket. I don't know where the fuck it is. But we can pull out our phones and look at people who, whether it's a celebrity who's living the high life on their yacht, or just some Joe Schmo Jamoke who's snuck onto somebody's boat and is taking a picture with his sunglasses. And we have that flaust envy that's happening because it's like, well, shit, I want that too. When in reality, it doesn't actually exist. And then I think that sort of perpetuates people to maybe go out and try and commit a crime or rob somebody, make that quick money so they can get, something that they saw somebody online with too. I think there's a bit, that's just me. That's just my point of view. I think any area.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay.
It's just I'm a big proponent of two things can be true at the same time. There are absolutely people who just have envy and they just want what they see on freaking Instagram, like you said. There's definitely people like that. And then there's people who are just genuinely poor and just don't have, But to your point of that, the people in the neighborhood make the neighborhood. That's also true too. But you got to realize this.
Yep.
Like look at it like this. When you're poor, it creates more problems, unforeseen problems. Like I'll give you an example. Let's say you're low income. You're only making like I don't know. But let's say you're making low income or whatever, right?
Yep.
Your rent is high because rent's going up, inflation, etc. Bills ain't met. You're not getting no help. Now you got two choices. Let's say you're a single mother. You got two choices. You can either start selling some cat on the corner, selling some drugs, or you could work 2 or 3 more jobs. And that plays right into what you said. You can work harder. Totally fine with that. But here's the problem when you do that. So let's say you move into those 2, 3 jobs. You're never home. What happens to your kid at that time? You know what I'm saying? They don't have the guidance. They don't have that motherly figure. Now, when you're working 3 jobs, you can try to keep tabs on your kid, but you're busting 3 jobs. You're going to come home and fall asleep. You're not checking homework. You're not checking attendance. You're not going to PTA meetings. I mean, you'll try.
Yeah.
If you get that time off. But, when your kid don't have guidance, you're not there. They just see you going all the time working, trying to keep a roof over your head. They're going to look for parental guidance in the areas. So when they walk outside in that poor downtrodden neighborhood and they see Bloods on one corner, Crips on another corner, they see some dude, yo, what's up, man? Hey, where your mom? Yeah, she working. Word? Well, I got this new cell phone. I got these designer jeans on. I got this, I got a nice chain. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, how you get that? Oh, all I did was just stand on this corner, and as soon as a fiend come up, I give them their product, take the money, and that's it. That's it. That's all you got to do, man. And that's how it starts. That's how they bring people in. That's how they entice the youth to start doing that. And when it's a female, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you trying to make some money? All you got to do is just go here and suck this or whatever, and you'll get $200. $200 just for doing that? 5 minutes? 5 minutes, that's it.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to say is when you're poor, it makes it so much harder to keep things in check. So when I propose the idea of, providing housing, that cuts so much burden off. I was in areas where people on a big dollar salary, they got $2,500 rent. It's ridiculous.
Oh, dude, trust me. I actually, yeah, I'm in the actual. This isn't anything new, and I say it in my old videos. I actually, some of my other ones, but that's actually that's my side business is rentals and stuff like that. Not to make it all personal. So I have a regular job, and then I do that on the side. I've always had multiple jobs going on at the same time. It's just, but anyway, even I say the cost of rents has gotten so out of control. I mean, there's so many factors that have caused that, though. That's a completely different discussion, which I wouldn't mind having. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having that with you sometime. I think it's fun. But like I said, I'm part of that real estate group, and even I tell everybody, like I actually kind of keep my rents more adjusted to what I need than what I can get, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to be like tooting my horn or say, "Hey, look how great I am." That's not what it is. It's really more. It's more self-serving than anything, because I believe, to be honest, and this is going into a different territory, and I tell everybody in my group all this at the same time. It's like, you're gonna charge out the butt for rent. All you're doing is giving more ammunition for the government to come in and intervene. So rents have gotten very out of control. I don't think rent should be like cheap, because I mean, like I explained it to somebody, actually a lot of people once. It's, we have to pay crazy, insurance is through the roof, taxes keep going through the roof. It would be impossible not to eat that, to eat that cost. It has to get pushed down. And a lot of people don't want to believe that or think that, but it really is. So, but yeah, no, I think that the rental costs, that's something that I'm actually even sort of like passionate about, and saying it does have to get put under control. I don't know if the idea of free housing, to me, this is just me, because to me, like, one of my gripes in life is the idea of, like, I'm going to use the air quotes, affordable housing. And then how do you set a precedent over who gets what? So like you were saying before, and I'm asking you, I'm not gonna is so like you said before, like a single mother or something like that. Let's say it's a woman, she has 2 or 3 kids, and then there's like another person, let's say it's a single couple, and they're low income, or just a single guy, or somebody who's so how do you differentiate now? Does the woman who had, and I'm not trying to attack anybody, I'm just saying, can we honestly look at the person who, like the woman who maybe has 3 kids, and let's just say it's not extenuating circumstances, like her husband was a fireman and he died in a fire or something like that, and she lost her job, or let's just say it was somebody who maybe started having kids young or something like that. And so now, do we give that person, do they get a 4-bedroom house? And then the person who's like, the young couple, it's like, well, you're going to get like a, 1-bedroom studio. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can we look people in the face and say, like, yeah, all right, this person made the same mistake like 3 times. And I don't mean to say it like that, rude, but and maybe you guys are young and married, but you're really hard up, or something happened to you, and but you're just not going to get what this person has. Like, doesn't that create like a whole nother,
I
go
think
ahead.
you're hitting on the means testing,
The what's that?
basically. I think you're hitting on means testing.
Okay.
Basically, how do we determine who gets what and how much we give, or whatever. So I'm not very big on means testing. I really hate means testing. Like there's certain programs like that very low income people qualify for, right? And the income limit is like, I don't know, 30,000, and anyone under 30,000 gets the program. But if you make $30,001, you're disqualified. And it's like, it's only $1 over.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I get that.
You know what I mean? So, when in those situations, I think that you just forget the means testing. Feel like we all get a basic amount of what the government would provide. So you have your 4 kids, it's the 4 kids. You have 3 kids, you get the 3-bedroom or whatever. And just go like that. Like, don't try to means test it. Everyone gets the same thing. It sounds very sounds very hammer and sickly, but you know,
Sorry,
no,
that
no, I hear you,
actually
you
really
know,
just clicked in.
sounds very hammer and sickly, but when you do that, you don't have that incentive of, hey, he got more than me, or hey, this person was on drugs and then they got off. How come they in the same type of house as me? It's like, look, you all got a roof over your head. It is what it is. You can't be jealous. This person got that house because they have more kids or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand that there's some people that are hard-headed, some people that make mistakes, and I totally get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But whether they made the mistake or not, it's still a burden on the system as a whole. If you can't make the rent, you're going to have to pay it in welfare or SNAP or whatever kind of program they got to get on. You're going to have to pay for it in prison, because if they do a crime and they get caught, you're going to be paying for all their stuff in prison. You know what I'm saying? So my goal isn't just to make like a Marxist utopia or any kind of crap like that. My goal is I want citizens to be able to not be a burden on the system as a whole. And I feel like if you have a house, it releases a burden off of you so that you don't burden the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay for your prison time. I don't want to pay for your SNAP. I don't want to pay for your welfare. I want to pay for your kids. I don't want to pay for your what's the other thing that they're paying for? I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for you to be in a burden on the system. I'd rather you do it yourself. If I can create the path for you to do it yourself, I'm all for it. I'm all for tax breaks too. Like, we don't get no tax breaks. The people who need it the most get nothing, Nick. You know what I'm talking about. But the billionaires get it. They don't need it. So, that's like my major gripe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never quite understood the whole billionaires get the tax breaks thing. Because in the grand scheme of things, I mean, proportionally, I don't well, let's put it this way. I don't sort of try and compare myself to like a billionaire. Like, it's just never really going to happen. But I'm also going to understand that they also relatively pay a lot more in taxes than I do. If they don't, they get caught and they get back taxed. And then that.
No, they don't get caught. They have accountants to get them out of it. But
yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. It's like the same thing as politicians. They commit a crime, they get slapped on the wrist. You or me go to jail. Yeah,
we're going to jail.
Yeah, we go to jail. We'll pay back the money and go to jail. So, but the thing is, it's like, and then it's hard to tax people and billionaires because a lot of their money's not liquid. So, I mean, you'd have to really change the whole tax system, like, to tax. You'd almost be taxing possible funds and possible income. And that would be tough. But there are tax rates. Like, me personally, I'm a big person who's kind of against, like, child tax write-offs and tax credits. So, like, I always laugh about that because it's like, everyone complains about, corporate loopholes. And I'm like I said before, I have no kids. I look at people with kids and I'm like, wait.
Yourself lucky.
Well, I mean, I say, like, you got what? You got what as a tax return? It's like, yeah, you get so many.
Listen, let me tell you something. and this is something that you're gonna when you do have your kid, and that's if you choose to have them. If you choose to have them, you may get a little tax refund here and then, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, it is nothing compared to what the cost of a child is.
Oh God,
and more importantly, the cost of daycare.
Yeah,
bro. This daycare, my daycare is double pay for my mortgage.
Yeah, daycare is nuts.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. I see people and what they pay at daycare, and I think that's crazy. I don't understand why it's so expensive, too. I would think if we were going to go off supply and demand, if daycare was that expensive, I would think that would be a business. And I see them popping up all the time. You would think that would drive the cost down, but it almost like it gets more and more expensive for some reason.
Mhm. They know you got you. It's kind of like when we left this want free healthcare.
Yeah.
It's one of those businesses where you don't have the and I'm not 100% against capitalism either. I just feel
Hmm.
that it has its uses. It has its times where it works great, and
Yeah.
it has its times where it just does not work. And I feel like that's one of those situations. Like with childcare, you can't negotiate because if you don't pay them, you can't go to work. And if you can't go to work, you don't eat. So they're saying, look, the childcare for a month is going to cost you $1,200.
Hmm.
It's a lot of money. Gotta work. Here you go. you know,
It's funny. It
and
sounds like when me and my buddy talk about mandatory child support. You miss your child support
mhm,
payment, you go to jail. Then you can't go to work, so you can't pay your child support payment.
there you go.
It's one of those.
exactly.
It's one of those system
Mhm.
catches that.
Mhm.
But you would
It's,
think
it's
that
the
if that
same
was
thing
the
with healthcare, man. Like you get shot. Not get shot, but let's say you get in an accident at work.
yeah.
And you need immediate medical attention, and you pull up to the hospital. They're like, oh man, you're pretty messed up. Oh, that's going to be $75,000 to pick you up. What? That's insane. Take me to the next hospital. It don't happen that way.
No.
You got to take it.
Yeah, we gotta take
And,
you
they,
to the
and then
nearest
they
one.
hit you with that. Now you're in medical debt. You can't pay it. You lose your house. You know.
Yep.
So like when you see me argue with the right, it's not that I have a problem with the right.
Hmm.
It's not even the right's ideology. It's just more that see the issues, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the system as a whole. It's not the right. It's the system as a whole, man.
Well, was it
It's
you that I was
just
talking with, or the other person that and it was I was using that proverb, that example. It's like, they keep you fighting each other so you're not fighting them, that kind of thing.
exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it is. And
Yep.
I've always said it's like when it comes to, like, let's say social a social healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not actually against it. Like personally, like what you said, yeah, a bad medical bill can really
Uh-huh.
destroy somebody. I think for it to function, so this is where I don't know if it was you I was talking about, where people can't talk and they can't like compromise anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, if we were going to go into that tangent, it's, especially taking into consideration what's going on now. Like I'm just going to quickly deflect over to that for a or
Mm-hmm.
deflect is the wrong word. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but pan over there. So we could see the influx of people in just like the last 10 years that keep flooding over the borders, coming through, visas overstaying, things like that, just more and more
Mm-hmm.
people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so much of an idea too behind it. Like when you say talk about left, you talk about right. If I was to look at it, I really don't consider myself either. Like I always try and tell people
Mm-hmm.
too. There's so many you can't. It's almost like you know, like a certain sect of a religion. You can't put yourself completely in there. It's like now there's all these little
Mm-hmm.
pockets, like these little sects of religions for like the left and
Mm-hmm.
for the right. So when it becomes like
Mm-hmm.
that, you're really more in the center than anything. So like I consider
Mm-hmm.
myself like a staunch fiscal conservative. So like I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of the times like people on the right talk about this. It's like, how are we gonna pay for this? And it is true
Mm-hmm.
because it
Yep.
does end up being other people's money, which is the government doesn't
Right.
have money. I mean, they don't. They
Mm-hmm.
print what they need, or so
Mm-hmm.
how do you afford these things? And if we're gonna keep having the problems we do of more and more and more people coming in, I just don't think
Mm-hmm.
there's ever a possible way to do something like give everybody a home or do socialized medicine, or a lot of these programs that sound like they're a
Mm-hmm.
good idea. I think a lot of people also, like me and my buddy have said this before, they everybody likes to use these countries as an example that are like the size of the state I live in. You know what I mean? It's a state. I mean, it's a country with a population of like 7 million, as opposed to 300 and what 50 million that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would love to say, well, there's just more people, so that's more people you could tax and more people, but not really, because if so many people, especially now with inflation and like you said, the cost of housing and just the cost of everything. Oh, Jesus Christ! I was in the fucking grocery store today, and I went to go grab Hellman's mayonnaise, and the regular 12-ounce bottle was like $8. I was like, I could buy the goddamn oil and eggs and mix it myself for half that price. I had to buy this mayonnaise I'd never heard of, I mean, and hope for the best. So it's like when
Hey, brother.
everything's like getting more expensive, and there's more and more people who are hitting they're in that poverty line. So you can't really tax them for anything. You can't, and everybody wants to say it's like tax the billionaires, but there's only so much you can, you can't you can't keep taxing like a corporation or a billionaire or somebody and thinking that's going to solve the problem, because eventually that money disappears too. I mean, there's I think nobody really wants to compromise on the hard solutions. It's like, yes, we have these ideas that could work or they could be implemented, but you're not willing to also look, not you, I don't mean you, but like,
No, good.
like you're not willing to look at that problem that's over there that's also causing a lot of the issues that are happening here. It's we want to ignore other things and think that it doesn't contribute. So it's we rents are gonna get through the roof, and one of the things that causes like rent prices to go up, and I explain this to a lot of people, is rent subsidies, because like you said, there, the Section 8 housing, or you're paying for it regardless, So when you're paying for it, the government is almost writing a blank check, because I've had Section 8 before, and they'll be, we're going to pay you this much for like, a 3-bedroom. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, why? Like,
Right.
if you're going to pay that much, of course, the guy down the street is going to look at the rents and he's going to be like, well, I'm going to up it now. And then it becomes like a dog
Right.
chasing its tail, because they add the subsidy, the rent around them goes up because they're trying to market match. And then, it creeps up a little bit, and now the subsidy has to match, and then it creeps up again. And then, we have more people coming in, and then more people ending up, because of the way the economy is right now, on a, the lower income level, and then needing more and more of that stuff. So, to be honest, I forgot where I was even going with this. I rambled for too long.
No, you was cooking. You was cooking, man. I was listening.
So, I mean, my point of it all really was just, like you were saying, your problems with the right, and then I would say like the right's problems with the left. But in the grand scheme of things, neither one can just sit in the middle for a minute and go like, okay, what if we did, like I always just use this example, and I've used it before when talking to people, like mostly, online debates, which are kind of garbage. But, okay, I will take your, like the poker lingo, I will take your socialized healthcare, but I want to up you closed borders and merit-based immigration. And instead of maybe that could work, it's an instantaneous go fuck yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck, dude? So it's like
Yep.
both
You're right.
sides, honestly, nowadays especially, want their cakes and eat it too. And I think that's just the way we also treat politics nowadays, especially
Yeah.
with things like, Facebook, Twitter, and stuff like that, where you can go on and, like I was trying to say before we started, these sites and these platforms and media platforms, they know people, they base their algorithms off getting you agitated. Like it's been,
Yep.
yeah, Facebook has been, openly said it. Yeah, we base our algorithm because we want people to argue, because it keeps you on there longer. Excuse me. And that's actually one of the reasons like I wanted to kind of do this kind of thing, because how many times do you go on and you comment to somebody and you end up in this thing and you go, maybe if I actually thought, like you hear the voice in your head when you're responding to somebody, like their comment, but it's almost like we instinctually give it an animostic tone. When sometimes
Mm-hmm.
maybe if we sat back a minute and granted we all like to troll around online. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm a pretty big douche. But like at least this way is I can hear your voice. I can hear your tone. I can hear
You get
the
humanized.
yes, exactly. You don't do that online, you know?
Nope.
And it's also, I
Right.
mean, I'm a stern believer that it's flooded with bots just to get you agitated.
Mhm. I have a question for you. What
Yeah.
made you think I was a
Oh, no, you know what I do? Oh, see, I can't, I don't know if I can actually tell you here because then it would give away
Okay,
where,
I got you.
you know what I'm saying? But I'll honestly
Okay,
100% tell you afterwards. But it's almost like I have
okay.
this little formula that I use. It's not, I'll just use the word formula because it sounds so different than what it really is. It's just again me being a douche. That I
I appreciate the honesty.
yeah that you can kind of tell. Um, so like, but I used to get into like it's funny before I was completely booted off Reddit. Um, I would go on and I even found myself getting caught up in those things. And then I started realizing, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, wait a minute. Like, I saw this comment. This same exact comment was in another thread that I was in before. It's got a different name,
Mm,
different user. And I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not making it up. I know, I mean,
I've seen it. I've
yeah,
seen it.
a different user, same exact comment, same, and I'm going, there's no way like either this is somebody who has like four alts and they're just running around pasting it, or this is an AI generated comment. And I 100% think that Facebook, Twitter, I don't know what's another one, you know, even YouTube and
Twitter.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I do believe that there's a plethora of just AI generated comments.
Uh-huh.
You know,
No, no, you're not. You are not wrong. I've seen it. It's those usernames with a bunch of stupid numbers at the end.
yeah,
They'll just
yeah,
go.
yeah,
You've seen it, and they'll
yep,
go on there and they'll say something inflammatory.
yeah.
No, all the rights are KKK or something crazy. And then you got an argument, and then you got someone else that'll come in. They are KKK. And then,
Yeah.
and then it just falls into a big fight, and Twitter just loves it.
Oh,
Yes.
they're making money. They don't care.
Her interaction, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like if you put a leftist and a centrist or a right winger
Hmm.
in a room long enough and just have them talk, eventually they're going to start agreeing on some things.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
what the elite do not want. That's the number one thing they don't want, because that's how compromise begins. They want us fighting over the stupid woke and CRT and Trump derangement syndrome. They want us
Oh yeah.
fighting over this nonsense
The
so that
nonsense.
we don't say, okay, let's start solving these problems. Whoa, let's not do that. No, 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 no. We don't want to solve any problems. We just want you to keep getting taxed and
Yeah.
making less money. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. So, when you said, hey man, let's talk it out, I was like, all right, man, let's do it, man. I got no problem talking, because I know that I just feel like in my heart of hearts, I know that you want what's best for the country. You don't want to see the U.S. fail.
No.
Lefties don't want to see the U.S. fail either. We just have different ideas of how to get to that point where we don't fail.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I know that the heart is in the right place.
Yeah. I mean,
There's some
everybody's got.
assholes out there, but the majority aren't. The evil side that the media portrays. Especially that MSNBC. Oh.
Oh, dude. I who was I just saying to somebody? I can't remember if it was you or the other person. And I was saying like we got into the discussion because I was like, yeah, I'm. Excuse me. I apologize for that. That one I couldn't help. Oh, it's gonna end in 10 minutes, again. Which we'll probably have to end up calling it anyway after that. But like I had told them, was it you that I was speaking with? And I said, well, I'm technically MAGA, but it's like MAGA out of the principle, not so much like Trump himself per se.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I think personally, if you're like a MAGA person, you wouldn't. You should hold anybody to the cuff, even him. I don't trust him as much as I can throw him. But like you were saying, the media, the thing that actually turned me towards that would be another story that I could tell, but it was actually being caught. It was in the 2016 election. I had,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I apologize again. I had kind of tapped out of politics, period. And even I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way this fucking doofus is gonna win. And but my buddy was like, he's just a schmuck. So he's like, dude, I got 2 tickets to go to the rally.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, do you want to go? And I was like, no. And then he's like, come on, you want to go? You want to go? And I was like, all right, I'll just go for the hell of it. And then first off,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was nothing. Jesus, what the hell? Sorry, my cough drop must be wearing off. It was nothing like what the news was portraying it as. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my first like, oh well, this is strange. Jesus. All right, if I die, you could it's your show for the rest of the time. And then,
So I won the debate.
excuse me. So the then when we got in there and he came out, it was along that same time. I don't know if you remember. They were like, he couldn't fill a gym. He could, like 30 people showed
Mm-hmm.
up, that kind of thing.
Yep.
This
Mm-hmm.
place was packed, like outside into the streets, and in a state that I would not think that would have happened. It was so much fun. Everybody was having so much fun. Even the people who came in to like protest them, like they were even having like it was just like it was hysterical until we got outside afterwards. Then it got a little wish-washy. But
Uh-huh.
excuse me, my goodness, he came out and said like, listen, everybody from that press stage back, he's like, I just want to apologize because you don't exist tomorrow. They're going to say you were never here, blah, blah, blah. I just think it's an interesting story. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like sway anybody, but, and he's like, they're going to pretend this place was empty. And I was like, ah.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, me and the other half, we were sitting there and she goes, didn't you say that place was packed? And I was like, yeah, it was nuts. I sent you videos and pictures. And she showed me, and it was the local paper, and it said right
before it
there.
started, right?
What's that?
And they took pictures before the rally started, right?
Yeah, there were no pictures. It was just he could not fill the place or something along those lines. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, and that sort of actually made me start really waking up to like media manipulation and things like that.
Yeah.
Realizing that, like you said, it's like they're going to do anything they can just to keep everybody else fighting for no reason and arguing, and that way I'm a big conspiracy head, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how.
No, that ain't a big conspiracy. This is the truth. You know what? Honestly, it's one of the main reasons why I have the political alignment I do now. Is just all the lies and like, you know what it is? Let me tell you what it is. It's like, and I'm going to say this too. There's two flavors of quote unquote left.
Mm-hmm.
There's the left that the right thinks is the left, and it's really not the left.
Yep.
It's more like the it's Pinterest. I want to say like the corporate left. They're not really left. They're just like they just want to follow what the Democrats say. They're just Democrats. You know what I'm saying? And then there's actual leftists like myself. Like someone from Twitter, like Unholy Rome or something like that. And you'll see a huge, huge difference in the way we think about things, bro. It's like night and day. And, the bourgeoisie left, like those people, they have like the Trump, they try to pretend that every problem is Trump. That Trump did it. It's Republicans. They did it. Meanwhile, the Democrats are doing the same things, the same corrupt things, even more so to a degree. You know what I'm saying?
Both sides do that.
They can't, right? Yep. And they cannot see anything else. So they look. So when we're saying, hey, you're just as bad. Oh, you just want Trump to win. You're evil. They hate leftists more than they hate the right. That's the crazy thing. So the thing is, we don't agree with some of Trump's policies, but the reason I do like Trump is because he's a in the face to the establishment.
That's
And
really
he,
why, yeah.
yep,
I'm a teen.
you know, exactly. He came about because people are just sick of the norm. They're sick of business as usual, and they just wanted some kind of change. And I get that. You know,
Oh yeah.
I'm sick of the way things going, man, and all the media lies, and like before I even became leftist, I was really like in that centrist thing because you watch CNN, you watch the MSNBC, all those Republicans, they block this, they block that, oh we this, they're racist, this, da 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 da. And then when you know what changed me, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Bernie Sanders?
Oh
what
my
happened
God.
to Bernie Sanders? That was when I saw, oh, I'm on your team.
Yeah.
You're against me. Okay. Now I get what it is. It ain't Trump. You just want to keep your guy. So they rigged the election against this guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started seeing the lies. Like, oh, you lied about Trump. Wait a minute. Didn't you say Trump did this, but then Biden did the same thing, but you're not mad about that? Didn't y'all call Trump a pedophile? You got this dude sniffing kids on TV and got some stuff in his. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, y'all lied about everything. It was like the blinders came off my eyes, man, and I finally saw it for what it was.
Yeah.
I just said, no thanks. I want no parts of it. I'm out.
Yeah, both
That's
sides. I mean,
how
we
it
really
started, man. And that's when I started talking to the right. That's when I started talking to the right. We got to go, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
okay.
actually,
I got to go soon. So yeah, and that's when I started talking to the right because that's when I learned that the stuff they said about y'all wasn't true. Not y'all, but you say you're in the center, but right wingers in general, because it just wasn't true. They're not just a bunch of racists and homophobes and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not like it, but it's not what the media portrayed. It was none of that.
No, and I actually think, to be honest, especially nowadays, their media is even doing that to people on the left a little bit, because if you notice, a lot of what they show on the left are like the most extreme wackadoodles. So now everybody thinks everybody who might consider themselves, it's like, no, I'm an old fashioned Kennedy Democrat. I'm not one of those. Though. So it's like, I think
crazy, loony left, far left.
Yeah, and they're doing it to both sides. So it's like,
yeah, you do.
Nowadays, if you're a Republican, you're a homophobe, a racist, and this and that, and if you're a leftist, you're a pedophile, and you this and that, and it's just like
you're a racist.
Yeah, yep. Where did this all come from? Wait a minute, it's like I got to be racist or a pedophile? I don't know.
Yeah,
which one am I weighing here?
No.
So no, man, but I actually, it says a minute left, so I just didn't want it to hang up on you. And I heard you say that you have to go too, and I should probably, because I'm about to hack up a lung all over this microphone. But this was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed this a lot. Hopefully,
it was a good compliment. Yeah, and man, keep doing what you're doing, man. This will be big one day.
I don't care about that. I honestly, that's one of the reasons.
But it's gonna happen if you keep doing it. It'll happen, bro.
It's honestly just fun for me. That's all it is. Hence also, it's one of the reasons I even wear this too. It's like, it's like I said in my very first one, I'm like, me and my buddy, we used to do, I've done this for a long time, off and on. And, it's fun. So, but yeah, definitely. If you ever wanted to.
Well, keep having fun, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And reach back out, man. Cause this was a lot of fun.
All right.
Hopefully other people will come on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dude. You have a good night. It was nice talking to you.
You too, sir. Enjoy your night.
You too.
All right.
Bye. Hey, just in time. Meeting has ended. So I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to have to go in and edit out a lot of that, I think, because it did not want to work with the audio. Maybe I have to do this more often, so that way I know when the updates for the software and things change. But I also did end up getting an actual a bunch of updates to the machine itself for the OS and firmware, so that could have messed something up. And shame on me for not trying to test it out beforehand. But hey, hopefully, people will still enjoy it. And he was a great conversation, and it just hopefully it will, entice other people to want to come on and talk about different things, and then realize I'm not interested in, badgering or hammering on people. I just really want to kind of hear where everybody comes from with their point of views and their ideas and how things can get fixed. So everybody have a great night.